We've got an international ration to look at today. This is a Swedish 24-hour combat ration. And I want to say right off the bat that this was very generously sent to me by the MAgnus, fellow reviewer. I'll put a link down below to his channel. And this is actually the second one of these that I've tried that the MAgnus has sent me. So as I said, it is a 24-hour ration. So it's pretty big and heavy. It's got a lot of food in here. And a few things to talk about. First off, you'll notice, it's pretty obvious, that this has like a look of a commercial ration more than a military one. For this company, 24 Hour Meals, apparently this is the company that makes the rations for the Swedish military. This is 24 Hour Meals Combat Edition. One thing that can be confusing is that this is a 24-hour ration, but apparently 24 Hour Meals also makes the individual rations too, individual meals. So you can get an individual meal that's called 24 Hour Meals. But we'll take a quick look at the bag. First off, it is a zip top, which is a nice feature. You actually have a carrying handle, so you can carry it around with you. And then you have tear notches right here. And then you can reseal it with the Ziploc. It also has something on the back that says integrated garbage compartment. Obviously, with any ration that comes in a bag or even a box, you can reuse the packaging for trash, or in the case of like MREs, you can use it for carrying water or whatever you need it for. And this is actually designed to be to have a garbage compartment. We'll look at that when we get inside. But it also has a lot of great information on the label here. So we're looking at menu number 4, and it's a 3-course meal or 3-course ration that gives you 3,600 kcals. And of course, they're giving you everything in Swedish and English, which is very handy for me. It has breakfast, lunch, dinner. Breakfast is a fruit porridge with rye flakes. Lunch is pasta carbonara. And dinner is oriental chicken with couscous. And they also give you a list of all the accessories you're getting, meaning not only the utensils and stuff like that, but also all the sides and snacks and desserts. Also gives you the weight, 809 grams. Once again, has the 3,600 kcals, 102 grams of protein, 140 grams of fat, and 466 grams of carbohydrates. So it gives you a lot of information about the entire meal here, so you don't have to add up all the individual packaging inside. It also gives you some allergy information here. And one of the most important things, instead of having to worry about finding a date code on here, it actually has the date of manufacture and the best by date. So this was manufactured on September 4th, 2014, and it was good until October 17th of 2016. So it is a little bit out of date. I'm not too concerned about that. It's always interesting to get a ration and see how well it stands the test of time. And different countries, of course, will have different ideas of what they want their rations to be. US MREs, I think from the beginning, they placed a very high importance on shelf life. And a lot of other countries, like France, the Swedish ones, actually many of the other countries, they seem to place more importance on taste rather than shelf life. So a lot of these will only be good for 1 year, or like this one, 2 years. But where you see the difference is in the taste and the quality of the food. It generally seems to taste a little bit more like real food. So I think that's about enough to say about the outer bag. And now let's go ahead and get inside of this one and see what it's giving us. But it already is sealed with a Ziploc. Let me pull everything out of here. And now we can see what they're calling the integrated garbage compartment. So obviously, if you have one meal, you can put everything else back in here and carry it around with you, just seal it back up. But to make it even more useful, they actually have a divider in here. So you can put your food on one side and your garbage on the other. It's a really, really cool feature. I'm getting a strong menthol kind of smell off of this. None of it's coming from the gum. It's anything. I don't know. There's definitely some smell coming up. It's a pleasant smell. It's not like something bad. So here we have our fruit porridge with rye flakes. And this is something a little different from an MRE. This does not claim to be completely ready to eat. So like a lot of other countries, they do have some components that will require water. So this is going to take some water. And we'll have our fruit porridge with rye flakes for breakfast. Here's the pasta carbonara, which they're calling lunch. Of course, you could have whatever you prefer. Pasta carbonara outdoor meal. 143 grams. Look a little closer at that when we make it up. And then the dinner, the Oriental chicken with couscous. So all three of these are going to take water. They all take some preparation. So the Swedes would obviously place a high emphasis on having water available for their troops. And we have some high-protein original beef jerky bites. 10 grams of those. It's just dried beef, but it has all these ingredients here. Here's a 24-Hour Meals Combat Edition energy bar. There's some oat biscuits. Looks like those are a little bit past their date too. Not too bad though. There's some squeezed peanut butter. It's from Wisconsin. Seems like a lot of the stuff is actually from Sweden, which is kind of nice to see, but a lot of these international ones have stuff from all over the place. We have 2 packages of peanuts here. We have Nut Walker peanuts, roasted and salted, and very, very tightly vacuum sealed. And also Nut Walker barbecue peanuts. Where are these from? They do have the different kind of writing on here. It's a product of Thailand. Let's see, we have some, we have nut cream. Nut cream, I guess this is like a Nutella, I'm guessing. Let's see, sugar, vegetable fat, hazelnuts, peanuts, cocoa powder. Yeah, so like a chocolate nut cream. There's an Orifo. This is familiar from, and I think the New Zealand ones have these, and Sweden ones, I've seen that before. And this is I believe this is a chocolate bar. Yes, chocolate bar, 25 grams. And it's best by September 2017, so that actually hasn't passed yet. There's some chocolate drinking powder, also from Orifo, manufactured in Germany. Isotonic drinking powder, exotic flavor. We have a couple freeze-dried Colombian instant coffees. Snap Cafe. Sorry, we actually have 3 of those. 1 for each meal. And then we have this one bullet-shaped hard candy. I'm guessing this is going to be black licorice flavor. 3 pieces of gum, all different. We have Xylomax, Moomin, full xylitol chewing gum. It's like a fruit flavor. There's some Flow, blueberry, vanilla, menthol. This has all those flavors in there. There's 2 pieces in here. And Arctic Storm Licorice Freeze. I'm guessing, once again, black licorice. And then we also have 3 disinfection swabs. And here's everything from this menu number 4, all laid out. And you can see there really isn't a ton of stuff to eat beyond the 3 entrees. They do give you 3 good-sized entrees. Each of those are pretty much going to be a meal in themselves, I think. And then just some snacks to go along with those. You have a couple packs of peanuts, energy bar, chocolate bar, some oat biscuits, some beef jerky, some peanut butter, and some nut cream to put onto the, to put onto the biscuits, and some beverages. You have a chocolate drinking powder, isotonic drinking powder, 3 coffees, and some gum and a hard candy. So it doesn't look like these are going to make up huge meals if you really do want to split it into 3 meals, because as I always say, you don't have to do that. You can eat it however you want it. But for the sake of doing a review, I think we will do it in 3 meals. I'll finish this video with breakfast, and then we'll make 2 more videos for lunch and dinner. So you'll also notice that this ration does not have any utensils, like a spoon or a fork or a spork or something like that, or a way to heat it up, either a flameless ration heater or some form of stove. So that would indicate that the Swedish military issues their soldiers a mess kit with utensils, and probably some sort of portable stove or other method for heating their rations. So you can see this isn't going to be too exciting. I decided to go very light with the breakfast, mainly because of the fact that there aren't a ton of sides and snacks and desserts. So to make enough for 2 other meals, I'm just going to go very, very simple with the breakfast and do the fruit porridge with rye flakes and some coffee. We also have some of the gum for after. I did think that the oat biscuits would go well with breakfast, but because of the fact there's only the 1 package, I'm going to actually use half for lunch and half for dinner, half for the peanut butter and half with the nut cream. So let's make up our porridge. And before we make this up, let's just take a quick look at the packaging. We do have ingredients listed in 4 languages, including English. Here are the ingredients. We have 4-step instructions. tear off top and fold out the bottom. You do have this bottom here that you can use it as a stand-up pouch. Add 3 deciliters of boiling water. Stir, reseal, and wait 5 minutes. Also says you can add more water if required. It said can be prepared using cold water. Extend time to 15 minutes. So that's handy. If you don't have any way to boil water in the field, you can do it with cold water. You just have to wait a little longer for it to reconstitute. There's the nutrition facts right here. And it does tell you it's 141 grams. And the best by date on this is August 20th, 2017. So even though the outer bag has an overall best by date of October 17th, 2016, it's just going by 2 years after it was packaged, basically. Individual components, of course, will have their own expiration dates on them, and this one is still within date. We'll open this up. And you can definitely smell the fruit in there. You can smell the raisins. Otherwise, it's like a bran cereal kind of a smell. Looks like it's rye and wheat flakes. And the fruits are apple, raisins, apricot, and peach. So the 3 deciliters is a little bit over 10 ounces. Put that in here. And I'm just going to use a standard MRE spoon to stir it up. Yeah, looks like I probably could have gone a little bit lower, a little bit less on the water. That's alright. Actually, I didn't even see this. It does have a number of measuring lines here. And it did say to go up to line G, so I didn't actually add as much as they recommend. So we'll see how this comes out. But there it is before. And we'll seal up and give that 5 minutes. And then we'll check it out after. Alright, and I did decide to add one more thing to the breakfast. When I looked at it, it just seemed pretty lame. There really wasn't much there, so I'm going to also add the energy bar. Looks like it has some raspberry in it, so it'll give us a little bit extra fruit for breakfast. And this has a best by date of June 19th, 2017. So this is also a little bit past its date. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. There's some like grains on the bottom. Yeah, definitely smelling some, I guess, raspberry. Some kind of a fruity smell coming off of it. It's different from the top and the bottom. So at least that does give us something else to eat for breakfast. And check out the coffee, freeze-dried Colombian coffee. Doesn't really smell like too much. Seems to have a slight coffee scent coming off of it. And all we have is our disinfection swab and our Moomin Xylomax gum. I discovered that this zip top thing didn't really work very well. I couldn't get it to zip, so I had to fold it over a couple times. And this has had more than 5 minutes, and it's definitely a pretty liquid consistency in there, which is nothing wrong with that. Depends on how you like your breakfast. If you want it more like a porridge, if you want it thicker, you just add a little bit less water. And obviously, like I said, you can eat it right out of the pouch. It's one of the things that's great about these containers. You can just prop them open and eat it like that. It's awesome in the field. But since we are doing a review, I'll go ahead and put some in the tray, so we can get a better look at it. You know what? I should have stirred it up before pouring it out. It actually did thicken up pretty well on the bottom. I should have given it another stir. But there's most of it anyway. And still a little bit more in here. And that's going to serve as our breakfast. And there we are. It's always nice to be able to have a hot breakfast. If you can do it, then all the better. If this had to be cold, I'm sure it's still going to be fine. Why not have it hot if you can? So you can see the apples in there. And the yellow things are the apricots. Little orange things is some raisin. Yeah, this is really good. It has some sweetness. It does have some sugar in it in addition to all the fruits, but it's not overly sweet. It seems to get most of its sweetness from the fruits, which is good. And obviously it's like an oatmeal kind of a porridge sort of a thing, so it's gonna really stick to your ribs. I think it's a good way to start your day. Yeah, you're definitely getting the oats. I wouldn't say tasting so much as feeling it. You can feel like you're eating them. And there is some of the wheat. I think I'm tasting the wheat. And I'm trying to think what this reminds me of, beyond just oatmeal. There's something familiar about it. But yeah, it's very good. The fruits, there's a lot of fruit in there. And as you can see, you get a good amount of this. So it's, even though my breakfast isn't very large, you are actually getting a lot to eat. I'll give this coffee a little try. Yeah, it's pretty strong. I didn't add a lot of water. Of course, they also didn't give us any sugar or creamer, so if you like your coffee black, then that's just fine. Otherwise, you'd add whatever you want if you have it with you. I just made it up the way they gave it to me. And then the last thing we have is our energy bar. Pretty dense. As I said, it does have a fruit kind of smell to it. Judging by the ingredients, it looks like it has raspberry in it. Actually, it looks like it may even be a little... Let's see the chocolate or raspberry right there. I think it's chocolate. There's chocolate in it too, apparently. Yeah, it's actually very tasty. Once again, it's not overly sweet, but the chocolate and the raspberry go really well together. And it does have these little grains in the back here. Yeah, that's good. It's kind of close to a Ranger bar, or First Strike bar. Not quite as chewy, which is nice. It's not sticky. I mean, it's not overly chewy. It's actually really good. Like I said, that chocolate and raspberry, they go great together. You do get a chocolate bar, but other than that, you don't really get a lot of desserts with this. But I think this actually would make a really nice dessert because of the sweetness. But that's really all that I set aside to eat out of this one. So we'll have our fruit gum. You get 2 pieces in here. Pretty soft. Oh yeah, you get the burst of flavor right away. I don't know what flavor I'd say it is. It just says fruit. And it's kind of like, I guess like a tutti frutti kind of thing. I guess it's a combination of a bunch of different fruits probably. But it's good, not necessarily a breakfast thing. But you do have 3 of these, so you can have 1 after each meal. It's kind of like a dental gum. And since we don't have too much to look at this, why don't we also check out the disinfection swab. 70% ethanol, 1% glycerol. Wow, yeah, it definitely has the strong smell of alcohol, which is that's good if you're out in the field and you really need to clean. You can clean your hands, you can clean your utensils. Come in handy. So that was a look at breakfast from this Swedish 24-Hour Meals Combat Edition, menu number 4. Stay tuned for parts 2 and 3 for lunch and dinner. And thank you for watching.